Order. Ruth Jones to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr Dowd, and it's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, I think, for the first time. It's very good to see you in the chair. I'm delighted to be able to bring this debate before the House today, but I do want to start by acknowledging the seriousness of the situation in the Middle East and my hopes and those of my constituents for a more peaceful world and a real meaningful de-escalation in that area.
Hear, hear.
Mr Dowd, as we consider the impact of the Spring Budget 2024 on Wales and the Welsh economy, I want to acknowledge the voices, views and concerns of the people of Newport West. My constituents have shared their worries and their concerns with me since the Chancellor delivered his budget in recent weeks. Of course, I'm also thinking about people right across Wales dealing with the consequences of a Conservative government that is out of touch and out of time. The recent budget could and should have been a unique opportunity to unlock Wales's promise and to unlock all the potential that we see in and around our communities. But instead, it was more decline and decay. And it's clear to everyone here, and I suspect the Minister too, that this government has decided to continue papering over the cracks of almost 14 years of Conservative economic failure, rather than giving us the change we need. Mr Dowd, as we consider the impact of Budget 2024, we need to think about where we are thanks to this government. Every colleague here in this room will know that after 14 years of Conservative government, people in Newport West and Monmouth, in Clwyd East and Bridgend, and right across Wales, as well as the rest of the United Kingdom, are worse off. Families continue to struggle with the cost of living crisis, higher taxes and eye-watering energy bills. The list is depressing and it is long. Debt and interest rates are much higher. Britain's standing in the world is diminished. Economic growth is stagnant and our much needed, much valued and seriously underfunded public services are on their knees. Taxes are higher than at any time since the Second World War. Indeed, never has a British government asked its people in Wales and across the UK to pay so much for so little. Yeah. So let's take a moment to talk about the Tories' unfunded plans to abolish national insurance contributions and the Chancellor's promise of a £46 billion of unfunded tax cuts that would leave a gaping black hole in the public finances. This reckless approach exposes the clear risk of 5 more years of Conservatives. They will gamble with the public finances and working people will be forced to pay the price yet again. This Tory government clearly hasn't learned anything since the former Prime Minister, as we heard this morning during Prime Minister's questions, crashed the economy and sent people's mortgages spiralling. Yeah. I welcome the approach of the Leader of the Opposition and the Shadow Chancellor, who have been very clear that Labour will never play fast and loose with the nation's finances. Households in Wales will be £700 worse off under the Tory tax plan on average, giving 5 pence for every 10 pence being taken from the people across the country. I'm afraid that this budget confirms the UK has the highest tax burden in 70 years, rising every year of the forecast period. And the OBR figures speak for themselves and show for every 10p extra working people will pay in tax under the Tories' plan, they will only get 5p back as a result of the combined national insurance contribution cuts. That includes OBR's revised estimate for the impact of tax threshold freezes that raised 41.1 billion over the forecast period, and will create 3.7 million new taxpayers by 2028-29. So as we go back to the people in this general election year, we will be closing the door on the worst parliament for living standards on record, and it will be the only parliament on record where living standards have fallen. It's important to remind the Minister, and I welcome her to her place today, that real pay has gone up by just £17 a week over 13 years of Conservative government. Yet in the last Labour government, wages rose by £183 a week over 13 years. The Spring Budget reveals that growth in GDP per capita is negative this year and has been downgraded in 4 years of the forecast period. The OBR confirmed what may be called Rishi's recession, with GDP per capita smaller than when our unelected Prime Minister moved into number 10, taking over from the Prime Minister who was beaten by a lettuce, as we remember. The Conservatives have wrecked the public finances. Debt has almost tripled under the Conservatives from £1 trillion to just under £2.6 trillion, and borrowing has been revised up in the next 5 years of the forecast period. This is the legacy of 13 years handed down to the people of Wales. Mr Dowd, you will not be surprised to hear me note that this isn't just about the impact on Wales as part of our United Kingdom. The government has presided over the biggest drop in living standards in Wales since records began, and that goes for England, Scotland and Northern Ireland too. And that will obviously have a huge impact on the economy in our part of the United Kingdom, but also right across it. In recent months, more than 7,000 homeowners across Wales have faced a Tory mortgage bombshell as their fixed-term mortgage rates have come to an end. The average estimated hike is approximately £240 per month. That is the real cost of the Conservative Party. Under this Prime Minister, the Conservatives don't have a plan for our future. They crashed the economy and now expect working people to pay the price. Our country needs change, and that's why I'm proud that the defining purpose of the next Labour government, if we are fortunate enough to win the trust and support of the people across Wales and our United Kingdom, will be growing Britain's economy so that we can invest in our future. Indeed, Chair, Labour's plan for growth is about making working people better off, about boosting the Welsh economy and moving our country forward. So we will be putting economic stability first by introducing a new fiscal lock to bring economic security back to family finances. We will back British business. And importantly for me as a former president of the Wales TUC, Labour will make work pay.
Hear, hear.
The impact of Budget 2024 on the Welsh economy also shows how important it is that colleagues of mine standing for Labour across Wales are elected to this place. Yeah. Many of them are strong Welsh women, like Becky Gittins in Clwyd East, my neighbour Catherine Fuchs in Monmouthshire, a constituency that I know very well indeed, and Jackie Jones over in West Wales. They stand alongside colleagues like the Shadow Secretary of State in Cardiff Central, my neighbour and friend, the member for Newport East in front of me here, my colleagues from Gower, Pontypridd, and the Honourable Member from Swansea East, and of course Llanelli. Their re-election to this place will help ensure that better days lie ahead and that any future budget under a Labour government will have significantly better impact on Wales and our economy than Budget 2024. Mr Dowd, I would like to raise several specific questions directly with the Minister because figures from Citizens Advice Cymru show the number of people in Wales unable to top up their prepayment meters has increased 36 times since the last general election. So can the Minister tell us how many households in Wales still have prepayment meters and whether any have been forcibly installed since the ban in February 2023? I appreciate she may not have the figures to hand, so perhaps she may be able to write to me on that. And also we know that a recent Which survey found that 1 in 5 working-age parents in Wales are skipping meals due to high food prices. Has the Minister had any recent conversations with supermarkets in Wales about keeping the cost of food down? And again, this year, 62,000 homeowners in Wales will face a Tory mortgage bombshell with their fixed-term rates expiring. So Labour government would require banks to protect homeowners. So what is the Minister doing to help owners with the bills caused by her party's disastrous economic mismanagement? The Conservatives have crippled working people with the highest tax burden since the Second World War, with the Prime Minister's latest gimmick meaning British people to pay £10 in tax get just £5 back. So does the Minister agree with Islwyn boss Richard Walker that Labour is now the right choice for his customers? So as I draw my remarks to a close, you'll be pleased to hear, Mr Dowd, it will be no surprise that in my view, the only way, the best way, is to change course, to deliver for our people and to move forward with a Labour government. And the sooner, the better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.